Zone.
Welcome back. GSL Code A with Wolf and Artosis.
It's been a good day of games so far. For me, I didn't expect Tails to get out first place, but I did expect them to get out. Thought Steve would go 4, so it's been kind of as expected. But the coolest point of me for this group for me is that the biggest point of contention between you and I is which one of these two players is really going to get out.
Well, I thought both of them would. But I guess if RorO gets out, you get 2-0 and I get 1-1, and that's not acceptable. So I'm rooting for Classic here.
Yeah.
Can't let you beat me there, Wolf.
Well, Ultraseam Stronghold is going to be the map for game 1.
Uh-oh, Wolf.
We're going to have another long game, perhaps here. We'll see how Classic plays a little bit differently.
Well, the thing is, the way Seed played, I think, is actually optimal. Not exactly how he played, but the general thought of it is the optimal way to play PZ here. The thing is, Classic, he might mix something else up. We'll see. He could go for some sort of all-in, but you got to be careful, man. It's hard to get any all-in to kill as Zerg here. The map is so long.
It is. It is indeed. But that might be one reason why Classic decides to try to do something tricky. We have seen that from time to time. Someone will, like, get away with hiding the pylon before Gateway Zealot pressure or something.
Sure. How long has it been since we've seen a scout probe not be found and then the person does a pylon in main base and warps in Zealots? Remember when that was like every other game that worked?
Yeah. It's been a long time, man. I think, I don't know, some game that Naniwa played, I'm sure was it.
Yeah, sounds about right. All right, so here we go. Ultraseam Stronghold could be another long one between RorO and Classic. Up in, well, wait a minute. Yeah, top left, I thought so. This is our Zerg player. Will he make it out?
RorO.
No way he 10-pool series got to be doing an Overlord cancel. Would be nuts.
10-pool would be nuts. So down here in the bottom right, bonus player.
Classic.
There's the extractor cancel for RorO. Sometimes I see that and I think, well, it could be. If it's life, it never is, but like besides life. You know, it's like been figured out that, at least as far as I've read, and I've did a lot of research on this back in the end of the Wings of Liberty beta, like that the 9 Overlord was like
just better.
Scientifically slightly better.
Yeah, I have this, like, to me, funny joke about like half the Korean pros not getting the memo. Where it's like, I don't know. That's always what I think about. I'm like, really? Like, you guys just, you never looked into this.
Yeah.
You never wondered the difference. Like, someone figured this out and posted on Team Liquid way back, and unless they were completely wrong, which at the time everyone was like, yep, retested this, looks right.
Yeah, I mean, they like tested it like crazy, right? Like on every map just to make sure, like, even like just some weird, you know, off thing about the map might like, affect it, which obviously doesn't happen. That's not how maps are made. This is the more normal forge placement here, by the way, we were talking about last game.
Yeah, this is a much safer build, much less greedy, but RorO's going for the greed. So he's going to have a bit of an edge. The only way that this would like turn out okay-ish for Classic as far as why he chose to do this instead of the Gateway is if he really wants to hit like a +1 or +2 timing that he's trying to line up just right.
Yeah.
But I think he's just doing like a kind of safer build. He's convinced in his own play, no doubt. He knows that he's a really strong player.
He even like goes and checks for Zerglings. Yeah. And doesn't see him, and then he knows he doesn't need a tight wall there. Keeps the probe over here though, just in case.
He's not messing around. He really wants to be in Code S.
Yeah. I like that attitude. So we actually have, ironically, the same exact spawning locations.
That's right. The game might look very similar, Wolf. There is that possibility. We might just have to cast right into the next group.
Yeah, that could happen.
No lunch break for us.
Luckily, I got some really nice burritos from you today.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
They're tasty.
Well, let's see what Classic has planned here. With the Forge, he has unlocked a few extra opportunities to be aggressive with, you know, +1 against pure Zergling.
Will he get the +1? We'll have to wait and see.
I feel like no. I don't think so.
I think he will.
I mean, not right away is what I mean to say, but
yeah. What I'm afraid of is he's going to do a 2+2 blink stalker all in, because I've seen that fail in this map so many countless times. Like,
well, that's like at the beginning of this map's lifetime, where Pro players were just not comfortable playing against the late game here. Everyone was doing that because they were like, well, how else do I win? But,
yeah. Because here's the thing: big maps. You normally look at a big map, you're like, oh, it's a Zerg map. Thing is, extremely ridiculously large maps actually become, in my opinion, a little bit Protoss favored, just because like the ultimate Protoss force, how do you actually engage it?
You just can't really.
Yeah, and it's too big for Swarm Host, which is actually how you engage it on any other map. Is you're just like, well, I'll whittle them down with Swarm Host, and they eventually have to engage, and then I'll kill them. But on a map like this, like, you can't corner them with Swarm Host. It's impossible. The map is too big. They can run around it no matter what. There's not enough minerals on the map, and there's not enough supply. 200 is not enough supply to do it.
Well, you know, he's skipped it, man, so far, the +1. And he's going into Stargate here, so.
Well, this is actually making me happier, because it looks like it should go into one of those long, crazy games again. But Classic is a better player than Seed, so with how close Seed made it against RorO, RorO may want to mix it up a little bit and try something else. Try to kill him earlier or something.
Well, he's going to go ahead and drop a third Nexus even here. Drops an Oracle with that to help defend the third against Zergling attacks. I mean, it's going to be able to maybe get some drone kills, but I feel the real role here of the Oracle is to help against the Speedling counterattack.
Well, I would say, like, let's say he flies it into the back base right away or something. You should be able to get 4 or 5 drones pretty easily.
Usually 4 is like the one that you get no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. When there's just one queen, it's like not much way to stop that. But there are Speedlings coming down. He may have to end up using this, as you said, Wolf, and in fact he does.
Yeah. Starts at micro on those Zerglings was incredible by RorO trying to stop that cannon from going up. It didn't happen that way, but he tried pretty hard. Now, Zerglings are going to come over here now and really not going to get anything done, to be honest.
Well, the one thing they are getting done, they're slowing down the defense of this, and they're actually forcing that Oracle to stay put.
He's actually going to kill this cannon, too.
Yeah. And look at this, Oracle's out of energy. No harassment from the Oracle yet. It's only killed 3 Lings. They're actually, these Lings are really doing work.
They might actually maybe kill this Nexus. I don't know how much energy is on that Mothership core. I think he should have an overcharge, but...
Yeah, he definitely does have an overcharge.
He's going to kill 2 probes, maybe 3.
These Lings were actually super effective. So he killed, like, canceled a cannon, killed 2 pylons, killed 3 probes, forced an Oracle to stay home and use up all its energy. Those were very effective Lings, I would say, because, you know, if he had sent that Oracle, it would have gotten the 4 or 5 kills that we were talking about.
He's going for a set of follow-up Lings here and getting the 1-1 for Lings. The response, of course, back at home for Classic as he realizes, well, this is also that he might need to have at least 3 Stargates.
Yeah, and it's actually so similar to the game that we saw Seed against RorO, and I love that RorO is going for this again, because as we saw when he opened with those Ultras, even though he overmade them a little bit, I think, he had this army where it's like, okay, attack me and you die. And, well, of course, he attacked and died, which is the other side of that coin. But Classic, in the meantime, going straight up into this Sky Toss play, late Robo and all, just completely similar to what we saw before. The only really big difference is he's going straight Void Rays, which I guess, you know, it is a pretty big difference. He's not going for the Phoenixes really at all.
Yeah.
But that's going to give him a stronger mid-game army.
Yeah, it's going to be much stronger in the mid-game, and he's also going to be able to defend against ground attacks so easily if they do decide to, you know, if RorO does decide to commit to one. Even having these 2 Void Rays right here makes it, those Zerglings are not going to really want to commit to try to harass probes. You know, the cannons there, the Mothership core, and the Void Rays, you just have to say no to that. Triple Voids coming out here. Until he has any reason to believe that the Mutalisks are out, he's going to keep doing this with his Stargates.
I wonder if he's going to go into, like, Charge Lot, Storm, Void Ray. You know, the old Sky Toss composition that we don't see as much anymore. Because it looks like he's actually going to.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Temple Archives going down now, so it seems likely.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Now, for RorO, we actually have 90 drones already, so this guy knows what he's doing. You're playing against Sky Toss, make extra drones.
Yeah. And he's not going to be losing any of those drones anytime soon because we don't have any Phoenixes, of course, for harassment. So, Overseer comes down here, sees all the voids, and sees the triple void production. May add an infestation pit.
Well, I think he definitely needs to.
Yeah.
You don't want to play against Sky Toss without an infestation pit. If you do, then you're crazy. Like, Queen Hydra is not enough even. Now, we do have Charge on the way. Okay, so that is actually the composition he's going to be going for, and it's a super mobile composition. It's really quite strong. Fungal Growth is a good counter to it overall, but you will be able to get some High Templars out with it oftentimes and maybe deal with those.
The robotics here allows him to use Charge with Warp Prisms for harassment as well. Charge Zealot's just much more effective at actually getting there and getting the damage done out of a Warp Prism than slow Zealots do. This Oracle has 19 kills, by the way, most of these earlings, but he's continuing to scout with it.
Yeah, and you know what? Just the scouting alone is quite nice. It's such a quick unit. And we do have the Void Rays starting to move out with that Mothership Core, and I love moves like this where you just kind of patrol a little bit, you push back Lings or whatever, you maybe sometimes fly a little bit further and try to get a hatch because you can warp home immediately. And if you can kill even one hatch with a little harassment like this, you feel really accomplished.
Yeah. I mean, how many Voids is that in that pack? Like 7?
Yeah.
8? I mean, he can basically one-shot the hatchery, essentially.
It's
pretty close.
He can one-beam it for sure.
He one-beams it, man.
Yeah, that beam never stops until that hatchery is dead. Unless he's trying to be fancy.
He like, tries to use that phasing technique like on an extractor next to it. Do you remember that when you could like spam right-click between two Thors and just kill them both at the same time? Well, this is a lot of Zerlings, but he's running into a brick wall here. I don't think he's actually going to get anything done. Really
great SimCity going on by Classic right now. Zealots in every little crevice holding these Lings off. They get almost 0 done. And, well, he's actually sneaking up to the backside natural right now with those Voids, even though he saw another hatchery on the side.
There's, like, nothing army-wise for RorO on the map. He's got a bunch
12
of queens, but, like, I don't know how much I like that for right now.
Well,
these 3 queens right here are not going to be enough to actually save this hatchery. Sorry to say for RorO.
Yeah, he's only got, like, 1 transfuse, I believe. Well, he doesn't even use them, but I guess why use them? He knows it's not going to save it. And he even warps out. So that was actually a very nice hatch to kill.
Yeah. I don't even think he needed to warp out there. He could have...
Technically, he could have gotten out otherwise. But I guess he didn't know how close Infestors might have been.
That's true. I wonder, you know, if he would have... I guess it's probably because of the Infestors he doesn't really consider killing this hatchery on his way out. Might have out-sniped that too.
I think he didn't notice because he only saw the creep.
Yeah.
And on this mini-map, the creep isn't going to pop up to your eye. It's like really, really small. And like if he had seen the hatch, I think maybe he would have tried that.
Well, it looks like we had a revelation on those Zerglings. Yep. So you can see where those are going. Allows him to defend this a little bit easier. And again, a bunch of larvae used here. That's actually almost worth it to lose all these Zerglings just to kill that one probe, though, because of how much it's going to deny that base, you know?
It definitely is going to slow that down quite a bit. He's going to have to send something back up ASAP.
Charge Zealots at work here in a great spot, and he's relied so heavily on Zerglings, which have not really been cost efficient for him. With 97 drones, you know, it begs the question, does he have to be? But is he going to get this hatch?
Ooh, well, he's committing a lot of Void Rays. Now, if Infestors get up there, is this really worth it? It looks like the hatchery will go down, and ooh, he gets 4 of them.
Needs to target those Infestors with his Void Rays if he can. Just out of range.
He killed 1. He killed 1 in a hatch for 4 Voids. Oh, did another one get away?
Yep.
Wait.
Well, what is he doing?
I think he just assumed they were all dead, which is actually an okay assumption there. When you see that many coming in. What? Oh, and now he's going to give another one. Oops. Just a little bit of a mistake there. But at least he is denying some bases. Still trying to get some harassment done with this Warp Prism. More and more Void Rays on the way.
I think this is what, like, part of what Void Rays are designed to do, which I'm a little bit surprised we don't see them do more often. It's just... Your Infestors can't be everywhere. You need all of them to be there. And if you only have like 2 Infestors there, then you just kill the Infestor with the Void Rays and laugh at them.
Yeah.
Now he's going to kill another hatchery. RorO's economy is being quickly neutralized here.
Yeah, all of these minerals just being pumped in. Classic using a huge amount of supply and minerals to do all this harassment alongside the Void Rays. And the harassment is really tearing RorO apart.
Yeah, because he even kills the Zerglings here cost efficiently.
Yeah. He's doing a very good job. And, ooh, well, there's a good fungal. And there's a good recall. Queen's actually stuck there for a moment. If those queens were a little bit closer, he might have been able to pick off that Mothership Core and really get some value there, but instead, not much. And Classic is, like, really tearing RorO apart, I have to say.
Yeah. it's nasty, man.
He keeps harassing the same couple
he's just
locations.
Like all over the place, yeah. And with only Zerglings, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
Ultralisk now coming to defend. He loses an Evo Chamber. Was researching an important upgrade.
Ouch.
And I mean,
at least he's got his
3/3
3/3 for the Ultras. We'll see if he ends up making any Hydras or anything like that. But in the meantime, a lot of Void Rays. He's adding Colossus in to help deal with the Lings and the Infestors. He's got a good amount of High Templars still.
And at least he had almost 100 drones to make up for how many he's lost during that harassment.
That's true. He has a lot of drones. Well, actually he has 65 drones.
Yeah, now he has them 65, but after, if he has 98 and he loses 30 or so, at least he's not down to like 40 drones right now.
And he still has an okay bank. He's still maxed out. Thing is, he doesn't have that many bases, which means his max is going to get, or rather his bank is going to get depleted rather quickly. And one of the big things about a giant map like this against Protoss is you need to build up a big bank because one Zerg max isn't going to do much against a Protoss army.
Yeah. Well, let's see how much this. I mean, Void Rays are here. What's up?
What's up, Void Rays? Hi.
Respect me, man.
And, of course, that DT going to work on the other base.
I mean, how does he even defend this at this point? Like, does he leave like 4 and burrowed infestors there just waiting?
I mean, that's not a terrible idea. Another not terrible idea would be to use more than one hotkey for his army.
Yeah, well said.
I just keep seeing the entire army. It's like, all right, now the entire army goes and kills this DT now. Oh, the entire army goes back to kill these 2 Zealots. Oh, now what? Like, you got to be careful about doing things like that. A player like Classic will punish you.
Oh! Not worth it.
No.
Doesn't get it.
three Corruptors
for not
damage a Warp Prism is not worth it. You are right.
Just I'm making the call. I'm making the executive
you have to be
decision
really far ahead for that to be worth it. Thank you, Wolf.
Just letting you guys know. Well, that's a bit annoying. He will kill the Oracle, but
it's worthwhile right
now
there.
Now we can like study this army, like like a zoologist or something.
Yeah, he can watch it as if he's not even next to it.
But he's just ready to spam feedbacks on those infestors if they get too close.
He wants to so badly.
He wants to so bad, man. It's like opening a present that's under the Christmas tree, man. You cannot wait.
Oh, I hate that. I hate waiting. That's why, like Christmas Eve, you get one present early.
Yes, that's how my family did as well. Oh,
some okay feedbacks. Loses 3 High Templars. I believe he killed 3 Infestors there.
Yeah.
Wait, did he lose the 4th one? I think he did.
He did, just to the fungal dot damage.
Yeah.
4 Vipers on the way.
So actually, that wasn't that good for Classic. But he's getting a pretty reasonable bank, really, if you look at these 2 banks compared to each other.
Yeah, a Protoss bank should always... I mean, it doesn't have to be as big as a Zerg player's bank.
No, it doesn't. And it's still pretty good. Now, these Lings actually going to work, dealing a lot of damage over here. Will he be able to actually get the Nexus?
With the Adrenal Glands, I think so.
Looks like it. Ouch. So that's a little bit painful. But he has so many minerals saved up. He can easily remake. He can remake all those cannons. But of course, those Lings cost almost nothing. So definitely very nice for RorO.
Well, I mean, this army is getting very Ultralisk heavy. Right? 4 more with the Vipers. Void Rays are his only enemy, really. And additional Stargates are being added. He's about to have +2 for his Void Rays, and he's splitting them well. But the Void Rays will beat almost all parts of this army if the Colossi can connect on those Infestors. So he has to be perfect with his micro. The Ultralists are going to tank.
You know what? This composition is so scary and so hard to actually deal with. I'm not sure what his plan is here. RorO's.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. Like he's got to be very careful here. Maybe he can throw down some really good blinding clouds.
Oh, this is a bad angle for the Protoss army that all gets fumbled in a tiny area here.
Oh, but he actually gets some very good blinding clouds down. Gets those ultras up. It looks like they will fall very, very quickly. But he's got a lot of great fungals on these Void Rays. Can he kill the rest of them?
Well, I just watched an entire Protoss army get surrounded, and all of it was fungled, unable to move, and it still killed the whole Zerg army.
There you go.
But there's the Remax, and
what is it in? Show us the production tab, please.
I want to see that somebody hit that D key.
It's seriously. This is the new way they keep
Mutas.
Suspense is by switching into that.
No,
15 Ultras.
15
Wow.
Ultralists. That's a very lopsided composition, but I think
Well,
it's going
there's
to work
5
with
voids
no
on the
voids.
way, though.
5 voids on the way.
Yeah, he has those 5 Stargates we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, this is the kind of composition that's like very lopsided. You can't stick with it for long because it's so directly countered by Immortals and Void Rays, and even Archons do well against the Ultras because they're so big. They they stop the Ultras from really getting their surface area.
Yeah, the splash is not nearly as strong, but another 5 Void Rays start immediately, and I think that was a very important part of this, that he didn't spend too much money on gateway units in the Remax. Instead, he's buying all the tech units, which is what you're going to need here because it is the very expensive tech units coming out of Zerg as well.
Well, more drones being picked off here. This game has been very back and forth. I really worry. I worry about how much damage these Ultras can do because, I mean, they're going to take forever to be killed even with 10 Void Rays, but once they're gone, there's not a lot of bank for RorO to like make any more surprise moves. And I think Classic is, with the killing this base, he's been making 3 more Ultralists. He's really committed to this.
Indeed he is, and here the Ultras go. Kind of a really small set of choke points here, making those Ultras not deal nearly as much damage as they want.
Those Infestors are everything. He cannot lose them. And oh my god, he's going to lose his Queens here.
All of his Queens are over there, in fact, and he decides he just wants to charge right in. I'm not sure what these Vipers are even meant to do. Void Rays will simply kill everything here.
Yeah, it's going to take them a while, but they certainly will. All the Vipers going down here, and I think Classic could just like 1A across the map at this point. What is going to stop him? What can RorO make to stop him?
Nothing. He's dead. He has a lot of gas banked up, but it doesn't matter at this point. GG.
That's the definition of putting all your eggs in one basket now.
Yeah. He hatched a bunch of Ultras. Wrong eggs this time, RorO.
All your eggs in one hotkey, man.
Classic showed that he is just a better player than Seed right now. There's just not even a question. He played that game a lot cleaner.
He certainly did.
Everything about his play was just better. He tore RorO apart with the harassment first off, and then RorO even got a reasonable engagement, killed off the army. But the Remax into 15 Ultras, the thing is, he just took a gamble. He's like, I hope you don't make Void Rays. Yeah. If he hadn't made Void Rays, RorO takes complete control of the map, cleans out a couple bases, feels good about himself, gets way ahead. But you know what? He made Void Rays because they weren't going to be countered, right?
Wait, I mean, well,
you need like a lot of Queens, a lot of Infestors to even have a chance to counter them, right?
The only thing that might have been better, I feel like maybe maxing out Mutalisk instead of Ultras there at the end could have been good. I don't think he had good upgrades for his Mutalisk though, and maybe he was thinking that there was already going to be a prepared Phoenix switch.
Maybe. But at the end of the day, it was a gamble that did not pay off, and now Classic leads 1-0. Overgrowth, our second map.
Yeah, interesting choice to see RorO pick this one. Not a map that none of us are really familiar with. He's only been able to prepare for it in-house, just like Classic. Classic looks really stressed out, actually, despite being up 1 game in the series.
Well, it was a hard game. And Overgrowth, the thing is, I don't really know a lot about these maps yet. Of course, like you, I've looked at them. I haven't gotten to play them yet.
Yeah,
so
it's
maybe this is a really hard map for PvZ, for him.
It's like impossible to look at a thumbnail of a map and then like even if you have it blown up to really tell how it plays until you watch it.
Yeah, I mean you look at where the bases are, you try to estimate rush distances, how big are the walls that you need to wall off and things like that. How close is that third base? How open is the surface area in front of it? But you know, maybe he's frustrated by this map. Maybe this is a map that he's had a terrible time against in practice.
No. But WCS America and Europe players are happy. They have a little more time to actually study Korean games on these maps before they have to play on them.
That's true. But you know what? Their opponents do as well.
Very well said. Well, we're going into this one, Artos, as this could be the last game of our first group here. If Classic takes it, it's all over, and GSL champion RorO will go down to Code B, and Classic will move on to Code S, along with his Protoss partner, Tails.
I wouldn't call them partners, maybe brethren, but I don't think we know enough about the relationship.
I was going into that alliteration, you know, PP and Protoss.
Yeah. I gotcha.
I don't know, I was going off on a limb. Well, the map is up and loaded. This could be it. Can RorO bring us to a Game 3? Force Classic to pick the third map. Or is Classic going to take the 2-0 here and advance?
I just don't know.
I think there's a problem with the map loading. I think that's why we haven't gone to the game.
It looks like it. Oh, there we go.
All right, we're in. All right, let me say this one more time. Can RorO bring us into a third game, or is Classic, along with his Protoss brethren, Tails, moving on to Code S?